And my life will just keep, that relationship just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And my life just gets healthier and healthier and healthier. And all of those things that are trying to come in and suck the life out of it, because every garden has snakes, every garden has weeds, every garden has all those things. We got to keep them out. And it's a daily process. It's a daily process. We got to get the weeds out. We got to get the good old weed eater. I like weed eating, but I don't like weed eating when it's really heavy stuff. Or the gas. I like the battery ones. But I love weed eating. I love it. I don't know. I just love it. I love pulling up weeds. I just love it. I don't know. It's crazy. But there's just something about getting up all those weeds and getting out all that junk. Sometimes it looks a little barren for a little while and you're like, oh, it looks a little empty, but it looks clean. Now there's room for things to grow that are healthy, right? We get out all those weeds and all that chaos and all that stuff that's trying to take the life out. We'll have health. We'll have some beautiful things that are going to grow in that garden. There'll be fruit on the vine. Healthy fruit. And that's our lives. Goodness, peace, faithfulness, gentleness, long-suffering. All of those things. It's all Him. I want to bring you to this, Genesis 39, 7 through 30. And we'll kind of skip through because that's a lot, but I want to just bring you to Joseph for a minute. I just was thinking about Joseph in this, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife, okay, so Joseph, it's a long story, but Joseph was the youngest of 12 sons. He got captured. His other sons hated him. He got captured. And he was in this place. He was in Pharaoh's courts. He was basically kept as a slave. But he got promoted because he was in a house that loved God. Like his family loved God. And Joseph loved God. He honored Him. But it says, but he was in this place in Potiphar's house. And Potiphar's wife came to pass after these things that his master's wife, which was Potiphar's wife, which was like the head man, he cast longing eyes on Joseph. And she said to him, lie with me. Now, nobody was around. So this woman comes up to him, Joseph, in this place. Come lie with me. Knocking on his door. Right? Verse 8, but he refused and said to his master's wife, look, my master does not know what is with me in the house. And he's committed all that he has in my hand. Gosh, what a man of integrity. I mean, nobody knows what's happening here. Verse 9, there is no one greater in this house than I, nor has kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. Joseph was telling her, he's got rule in that house, and Potiphar was trusting him with all of this rule. And Joseph was telling Potiphar's wife, look, your husband trusts me. So that was the first, his response. Verse 9, there is no one greater in this house than I, nor has he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Now Joseph could have kept the peace with himself and followed his flesh in that place, and nobody would have known about it, right? God knew. He chose to keep the peace in his relationship with the Father by the integrity of his heart, because God's seen everything. You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story of commitment and integrity and honor. Verse 12, that she caught him by his garment. She just kept going after him. Lie with me. But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. Verse 13, and so it was when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and fled outside, that she called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, see, he has brought in to us a Hebrew to mock us. He came in to me to lie with me and cried out with a loud voice. Now his choice didn't keep the peace with all of this around him. Now she's lying, saying that he tried to lie with her. Sometimes when you do take a stand for what is right, there might be temporarily, momentarily, people not happy. And it may feel like you're being punished. You may feel left out. You may feel isolated. You may feel like you're being shunned. You may feel like a fool. You may feel all of these things. But you are choosing to honor him in that place. And you're choosing integrity. It doesn't end there. God always has the final say. Always. 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 And he sees those times when we choose to honor him and keep peace with him. Verse 20, Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, a place where the king's prisoners were confined. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever he did, whatever they did there, it was his doing. The keeper of the prison did not look into anything that was under Joseph's authority, because the Lord was with him. And whatever he did, the Lord made it prosper. Even in the place of prison. Even in that place of feeling isolated and like, I didn't even do anything. But he chose to keep the peace with God. And that relationship meant more to him than his little temporal fulfilling of the flesh and the lust and trying to keep peace with himself and the whole house. It was more important that he honored God. So Joseph chose to honor God. And what happened through a process, God honored Joseph. He honored him. Pharaoh said, for Genesis 41, 39 through 45, then Pharaoh said to Joseph, inasmuch as God has shown you all of this, there is no one as discerning and as wise as you. There was a dream that Pharaoh had, and it was disturbing, and Joseph was the one who could interpret dreams. So he was called out of prison through a series of events to interpret the dreams, and when he did, there was so much truth and wisdom, and Pharaoh knew it was true. Verse 41, and Pharaoh said to Joseph, let me back up to 40. You shall be over my house, inasmuch as God has shown you this. You shall be over my house, and all my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. God could trust Joseph in those places. So he could trust him with that much. It's the little things. You know, it seems little, but it's huge. It's really big things. It brings you it brings you into a place of, God, you know what's going on in the dark places and the secret places. You know what's going on inside. He knows the conversations we have in our head, in our heart. He knows what's happening. He knows our responses to things and our motivation to things. Everything is laid before him. But the beautiful thing about that is not to condemn us, because we know if we look too much inward, we'll be like, ah! But what it does is it brings a holy fear before us to say, God, I need you. Help me, Lord. I need you so much. I need you, God. I need you. And I want relationship with you, but I can't do it in my own strength. I need help. I need your spirit. I need everything you got. So he's given us his word. He's given us his spirit. He's given us community. He's given all of these things to us. And when we put those things together and we plug in together all of those things, God has his ways. And it's beautiful. And he will make your life beautiful if you allow it. The process is not always beautiful, but it will be beautiful if we commit it to him. Commit those things to him. We don't make the right choices so God will promote us. We make the right choices because it keeps peace in our relationship, and it keeps my relationship with him strong and healthy because I love him. Not because I'm going to get something or get promotion or that. That stuff is, the world can have it. We want him. He's the prize. He's the prize. You know? And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Matthew 6:21 says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Matthew 6:19 through 20, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal." What does that mean? It means your relationship with the Father. Just keep connecting to him. Keep connecting, even if it's little steps. Just keep moving forward. Little by little, line upon line, precept upon precept. Just keep going. Keep going. Don't give up on that relationship, because it's the most important relationship in your life. You're meant for that. You're made for that. Absolutely. God designed you, He created you, He knows everything about you. He knows you're sitting down and you're rising up. He knows your thoughts from afar. God knows how many hairs are on your head. He knows your frame. He knows you. He's acquainted with all of your ways. And He loves you with this extravagant love. It's compelling. It's life transforming. And it challenges us. It challenges us to respond. It's an invitation. It's an invitation. It's an invitation. That's all it is. It's an invitation. You know, we all get invites to places and things and all of that. But this is one invitation you want to say yes to. You want to RSVP as soon as possible. Oh, man. Romans 5:1. Having been justified by faith, we have peace with God. Today, I just want you to think about that peace with Him. And I want you to see where you are at in that with Him. Where are you at in that? You know? Where do you see God in that? Just where do you see you? Where do you see Him? And ask yourself, is He near or is He far? And if He's far, ask Him what's keeping you from Him. Sometimes it's those invisible walls of self-protection. Sometimes it's just sin. Sometimes it's just self-righteousness. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's self-hatred. Sometimes it's self-rejection. Sometimes it's just all of those things. But God has justified us with a relationship to Him through our faith in Jesus. And saying yes to that. He's justified that by, if we, accept that and receive that in our life. Accept and say, God, forgive me, help me, I need you. You may have done that, but maybe it's been more like, like a week. Yes. Not an all-in yes. Maybe you kind of want the experiences of God, but you like that, the presence of God, but what about the other thing? What about the commitment with God? What about through sickness and health? What about when good times, bad times? What about relationship, commitment? That's what He wants. He wants that commitment from us. And we cannot do it on our own. It says unless we're drawn by this Holy Spirit, we cannot even know God. But I feel like He's drawing us to Himself, all of us, including me, to a closer relationship, to a more dedicated, yes, God. I want to let down some of these self-protection walls that I've had up for a long time. I want to lay down these things that I have tried to protect myself from, because I really, in deep down part of me, there's been times I didn't trust you. I want to lay that down. Sometimes we just got to be really raw and honest. That's where God meets us, in those places of raw, honest truth. Of God, I'm really struggling with this thing. I feel you drawing me, but I don't know how to let go of all of these other things. They have taken that place for so long. And if I let them go, what's going to be there? That's fear, right? If we allow fear to lead us, that's a spirit of fear. It's not from God. We don't want to partner with fear. We want to partner with truth. We want to partner with Him. And I want to invite all of you today to just give God your fresh yes. To give God your fresh heart of saying, God, I surrender to you. I give you everything I got. I give you my yes. Through the sickness, through the health, through the good times and the bad times, you got my yes. Do you feel His call?